Good day everyone, Blob here. And here we have the last part of the shipping tier list. However, after reviewing the last recording, I come to the next conclusion. It was boring. I was tired by then and pretty much sprint through the last entries, which wasn't fair for those who actually care for these videos. So, I decided to make it anew, adding a couple of ships while at it and restructuring my reasons to make them more interesting. So, buckle up, buckaroos, it is time to end this properly. This is the Arknights ship tier list part 4. Starting with Silence and Ptilopsis. It's pretty easy to see why these two are often paired together. For starters, they are close friends. As in, when Silence left Rhinelabs, Ptilopsis went with her. We don't know why these two are such good friends, or if their friendship comes from even before the so-called diabolic incident. So, it is easy to see why will people think there is something between them. Besides that fact, we also have Ptilopsis' condition, which makes her slightly hard to read. However, and despite this, she is very honest and direct, something Silent's scientific mind will appreciate, while also looking for someone to rely on while taking care for Ifrit. So, this makes me think that the relationship could be probable. Hello, Edition Blob here. Just a quick one this time. Just as I finish recording this audio, I see the new chapter in the Rhinelab manga. Needless to say, yes, these two go way back. They are clearly close friends, and there could be even reasoning to take them a bit further. Will this make me place them higher? Not exactly. While this proves they had a friendly relationship back then, it doesn't add much in the possibility of them being a couple. If anything, the manga seems to reinforce the relationship between Silence and Cesaria. So, yeah, that was pretty much it. Now back to the list. Next one, Indra and Siege. We know Indra is very devoted to Siege, but we don't know the other half of the story, because Siege only mentions Indra a couple of times. Also, there's the fact that Indra refers to Siege as her leader, not so much in a romantic sense. So while I think the relationship is strong, I don't think it's that kind of relationship. At least until more information is given. So until then, I'm afraid these two go into kind of see it. Next one. I think this is gonna be quick. Jessica and Doberman. In this case, I haven't seen that much shipping of these two. However, I won't say it's zero, so they earned their place in the list. Regarding the possibility, we have seen that despite Jessica not being a full member of Rhodes, Doberman keeps training her all the same, making their interaction a constant whenever there is a new tutorial stage, so it is safe to say that these two meet each other constantly. Regarding the possibility of a relationship, we have seen that Jessica is at the burst of tears at the slightest surprise, while Doberman has locked up most of her emotions due to her past experiences in Bolivar, so I presume she isn't exactly looking for someone right now. So while I see it, I'm afraid these two go into not probable. Next one, Nerd and Vivian. The Candle Knight made her place in the hearts of fans all over the world, and I don't mean only Terra. It is easy to see why these two are shipped together. Vivian admired knights, and Nerd is the perfect embodiment of what a knight is supposed to be. From her part, well, it's Nerd, the always stoic yet kind knight we all know. Not to mention that their fight was the second dance we had in that event, and yet with even less heterosexual explanation. So while they are not together because of distance, if these two were to try out a relationship, I will say it is quite possible. Next one, Maria and Tola. This one, absolutely no one is shipping, and I mean I have seen nothing from these two, but they are here because there is a canonical source for the shipping. And by that I mean some journalists trying to make a quick buck. In the event, someone heard about their fight and thought that was enough to write about the possible affection of the Nightmare Knight towards Maria. That could be considered shipping in a nutshell, but I digress. Maria is a very kind individual, which is often the kind of personality who is paired with the dark and broody types, which Tola is all about. So, while I don't think they could be anything but enemies, rivals, I don't know. I kinda see it. Next one. Bagpipe and Horn. The whole reason for Bagpipe to join Rhodes Island is to find and rescue her former captain. We know Bagpipe is a very kind individual, who as far as I know has made friends with absolutely everyone she has met. She even tried to befriend Reed, despite everything she did. In that regard, she is even above Maria in friendship levels. Horn from her part, a very kind but strict leader to all of her women, a bit. Thus, it is not hard to see why would Bagpipe risk herself so much in order to save her. But, do her actions come from loyalty or from something more romantic? For now, we cannot say it for sure. However, and with chapter 9 coming closer, I think we will get more information in a couple of months. For now, I will say that I kind of see it. Next one, Calcit and Passenger. It is not hard to see why people would ship these two together. Cal pretty much was the changing point in Elliot's life, so it is not hard to see him regarding Cal as an important person. However, and regarding their information, for Cal, given her long life, Elliot was another individual she tried to convince out of the path of violence. Elliot from his part regards Calcit with respect, but at the same time, he seems to be wary of her, mostly because he knows what she is capable of. So, again, while I don't think these two could have a thing with one another, I kind of see it. Next one, Blue Poison and Indigo. In a similar case as with Glaucus, Blue Poison is often shipped with Indigo because of their friendship. But, unlike with Glaucus, they don't seem to be that close to one another. If anything, they only have got chemistry together. Pun not intended. So while I think they are very good friends, because we know that if you manage to get close to Blue Poison, she will cherish your friendship. So I just kinda see it. Next one, Calcit and Heidi. Again as with Elliot, Calcit marked an important moment in Heidi's life, giving her confidence to grow into the person she is now, and during the short interactions they had, it was clear that Heidi was taken aback by Calcit's mere presence, by her looks, and later by her actions, which makes it reasonable that she might have generated a crush on the immortal Lynx. But again, we don't know if Calcit even has a place for those emotions. So, until we get more information, I will leave them improbable. Next one, Fang and Beagle. As seen in the A1 team manga, it has been shown that all three of them, Krusk, Fang and Beagle, had been together for a very long time. However, events like Who is Real and Beagle's Skin has proven that their group will not be together forever, and in Krusk's future memory, it is implied that she is more closer to Fang than with Beagle. While they seem to have a very good friendship, it has never been shown that Beagle nor Fang are interested in that way, neither now nor in the future. So while they are very good friends, I'm afraid that is not probable. Now, the following entries are the ones that made me remake this part entirely, because all of these ships include the same character, that being the one and only, the Doctor. There is a reason I haven't called the Doctor Us for some time now. It's not too much, but there are clear signs that they have their own personality, their own preference and their own likings. Thus, it is safe to assume that they will be the ones to decide if they want a romantic partner or not. However, there is not much information about them. But I don't want to leave everyone in the lower tiers. That is what I thought made the previous list boring. So I decided to change the outlines a little bit for their case. I will be making these interactions based on the probability of the Doctor liking their partner back. So, this is not so much a comparison between characteristics, but rather if the Doctor will make a good pair with the following characters, starting with the Doctor and Ptilopsis, and not able to talk about. In this case, we haven't seen much interest from Ptilopsis' part, mostly that one line referring to her having developed emotions for the Doctor, and even that is not elaborated on. But then again, we know Ptilopsis is not exactly the best at explaining more complicated things like emotions. So while the feelings she is talking about could be romantic in nature, they could also be friendship. So this is a bit harder to analyze. If say the emotions are romantic in nature, they will be one of the best possible characters to be alongside her. Mostly because they are smart. Regardless of their crazy antics, they will be able to catch on to whatever she's saying with relative ease, as we have seen with Olivia. So I will say that it is probable. Next one, the Doctor and Heavy Rain. These two I haven't seen shipped that much. If I add them to the list, it was mostly because Heavy Rain has some specific ways to refer to the Doctor, almost like another character we will see later. But returning to Heavy Rain, this is not that case though. As we have seen in her files, is the kind of individual that will latch on to whoever she deems worthy of her respect, as we have seen with Calcit, Amiya, and even Spot. So I don't think there is a crush in her case, but rather a clumsy individual doing her best to prove her worth to someone she respects. So this one I think is not probable. Next one, Shining and the Doctor. I'm gonna be blunt here, I have no idea where did this couple came from. It is very popular, but as long as I have seen in the game, Shining has shown zero interest in them, not even kind words. Not that she is brash or disrespectful, pretty much all she talks about is either Niarl or Nightingale. So yeah, I don't know where did that came from. But if they will be interested in a relationship, I think it could be probable, and that's giving it a stretch. Because of the lack of interest from both parts in this case, I'm afraid that I kind of see it. Next one. The Doctor and Blue Poison. We know that Blue Poison latches on those individuals who aren't afraid of her. However, she is of the few characters who actually has shown interest in the Doctor. In some subtle ways, but definitely more direct than with Ptilopsis. So if the Doctor happened to be interested, I think it could be possible. Due to the fact that, despite her eccentricities, Blue Poison is a very calm individual, who could even out or even mellow down the Doctor's own eccentricities. So I think they will be possible. Next one, the Doctor and W. No, I don't see it. I see where people come from, but I don't see it. W hates the Doctor's guts. She wants them dead. There's no in-between lines, no nothing. The only reason she hasn't tried to kill them again is because she has seen that they are a different person than the Doctor they once were. So while she won't hurt them, she has little to zero reason to have any attachment to them. So again, while I see when people come from, this one is not probable. Next one, the Doctor and Silver Ash. Silver Ash is a very reserved individual who, because of his life, had to keep people away in order to don't get them involved with his schemes and the mental games he plays in his homeland. However, they have shown a lot of interest in the Doctor, both because of their tactical analysis and because of their personality, to the point Silver Ash considers them a close friend. In fact, the term used in Japanese, meiyu, is the closest type of friendship one can offer to another. So this not only expresses the respect he has for the Doctor, but also the esteem he has for them. So if they were to actually be interested, I will say the relationship will be possible. Next one, the Doctor and Gravel. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't mind being the Doctor's mistress. During the Casimir's event, the two of them did have actual chemistry. The Doctor found it easy to talk with her, and Xenomi come to keep them in high regard, to the point that she joined Rhodes exclusively to be close to them. Even if the Doctor isn't interested, it's clear that Gravel couldn't give less of a damn. So if the Doctor were to be interested, I think the relationship will be possible. Next one, the Doctor and Skadi the Corruptor Hat. This one is hard, mostly because Skadi Alter literally comes from an alternative timeline, where apparently the Seaborn has come to conquer the rest of the land, with only her and the Doctor being the remaining survivors of Rhodes, or at least that is what I think her archives are supposed to imply. However, she also wants them to join the Seaborn, and despite the fact that it seems that the whole world has ended, she is still protecting them. While she has a second reason behind it, it appears that she is actually interested in their well-being. So if they were ever to decide to join the Seaborn, I think this relationship will become very possible. However, and because of the nature of this list, I cannot place them there, mostly because the relationship can't be real in the timeline we are currently following. I'm afraid the best I can do is just leave them as kind of see it. Next one. The Doctor and Flamebringer. This case is not the same as with W. Flamebringer seems to actually respect the Doctor. However, their relationship seems to be more of commander and soldier, and neither of them seem to mind this fact, mostly because the Sarcas sees himself as a weapon that eventually will break in the battlefield. Of course, the Doctor will not let that happen, not because he's special, but because they cares for every single operator. So while I don't think they could be a thing, I kind of see it. Next one. The Doctor and Platinum. This is another case in which one of the operators has been shown to actually be interested in a relationship, the reasons being similar that with Gravel. The Doctor showing her that she doesn't have to blindly follow orders and that she can have her own existence, thus being the first individual to treat her as a human being and not as an expendable pawn, earning a place in her heart fair and square. Now, if the Doctor were to follow a possibility with her, I will say it will be difficult. Not in the this doesn't work kind of way, but rather because Platinum has been keeping away people for a very long time. She has shown interest, yes, but at the same time, she has shown fear. Fear of rejection, of not being wanted. So, while she is interested, it will take a while for her to act inside emotions. But with the Doctor's charisma, I will say that the relationship will be possible. Next one. I am very against this chip, but it is popular, so here it goes. The Doctor and Amiya. I firmly believe that Amiya is meant to be seen as a daughter, nothing else. But if they were to actually become a couple, there is a lot of ground for it. As main characters, they interact a lot, so we can analyze the relationship more properly. Amiya clearly cares for them a lot, and the Doctor is willing to jump in the fray in order to protect her. I know they are as strong as wet noodles, but the intent is what it counts. So if a relationship were to happen, I believe that they could be very possible. But I still see her as a daughter. No Alabama in this place. Next one. The Doctor and Angelina. We have yet again another character who is actually interested in the Doctor, as we have seen some of Angelina's interactions showing said interest. And unlike Gravel, she seems to be on the shy side, even more so than Platinum, which makes sense. She's apparently still a teenager, and she seems to be crushing from her part. So if the Doctor were to notice her interest, I will say the possibility is there. I cannot place them higher because Angelina's affection seems to be just that, a crush. There doesn't seem to be anything deeper beyond that. And finally, the one I'm pretty sure many were looking for. The Doctor and Cal. In this case, it's the other way around. Calcid has mentioned that she doesn't seem to be interested in the Doctor. If anything, she seems to be similar to W, in the fact that she has very strong emotions against them, specifically for whatever happens with Teresa. However, and depending on the answers the Doctor can give her during the game, it appears that the Doctor seems to be interested in Calcid. That depends on what we choose. But the fact that the possibility is there makes it worthy to analyze. Now, regarding the personalities, if the two of them were to actually be a couple, it will be a similar case as with Silver Ash. The two of them are very smart individuals, and while they have their very different ways to act, the Doctor in the moment and Calcid with centuries, literally, their respect for one another, it's undoubtable. So, if they were to actually have a relationship, I will say it could be possible. And with those, the list is finally complete. Honestly, I wanted to do this since I opened my channel, but I didn't find a good reason to do so without waiting a whole year for Valentine's to roll back. Luckily for me, Pride Month comes to the clutch, saving me having to wait that long, while also giving me enough time to make this properly, without having to focus on a single day. So, with that said, happy Pride Month everyone! Might you be able to love whoever you want all year long. So long it's legal and consensual, of course. Also, and as required to make this list, I have a Twitter now. I am still learning how to make use of it. But feel free to follow me if you think my crazy ramblings to be interesting. I might use it to make questions regarding future videos, if I can figure out how. While at it, please don't forget to like and subscribe, as I want to reach as much people as possible, and your help will be indispensable for that. This has been Dr. Blob, wishing you all the best of luck, and as always, stay healthy everyone.